Hello and welcome. My name is James. I'm cybersecurity faculty here at Mohawk Valley Community College. And this month for us, we've got a behind the scenes with Ben, who is the team leader from Dakota State University. At this past spring in 2020, Ben led his team as a hard fought whole bunch of amateurs coming into the competition scene for the very first time as their fearless leader. He's happily agreed to sit down with me and talk a little bit about what was it like from that particular perspective. So Ben, how did this past season go? What was it all about? What was it like, kind of from your perspective?
I mean, it was a lot of fun. The competition was really good, and the whole idea of me bringing a bunch of new people in is to help them find more what areas they like, because some of them weren't in cybersecurity, they were in computer science, and so it really helped them get a feel for what they did and didn't like about the competition, and if they wanted to pursue more going forward.
I see. So, having said that, that was definitely an important theme I've noticed across the different CAE schools is that like every cybersecurity slash computer science club seems to be coming from a slightly different perspective. So, perhaps if you could just kind of speak on behalf of Dakota State University, like what is the flavor of cybersecurity and computer science? What is the general dynamic there?
At Dakota State University, they work pretty close together. If you take computer science, you're more than definitely going to have to take some cybersecurity classes. The college is heavily cyber operations, which is I would say, pen testing degree, more
Mhm.
focused towards paperwork and government work. But they work close in conjunction. If you do one, you will eventually encounter the other for sure.
Mhm. Yeah, that sounds pretty typical to Mohawk Valley. We're only a two-year institution because we're a community college, but we definitely go hand in hand, very close knit with our computer science as well. So which one do you happen to fall under?
I do cyber operations. Pen testing it's been a hobby since middle school. My parents always wanted me to stay out of trouble, so they sent me to college.
So wait. To stay out of trouble, they said, "Why don't you go hack things?" That was the
Yes.
solution. Did they know that going in, or is that something that you just didn't mention? How did that work out?
So they were worried that because I was showing such an interest in pen testing that I was going to try to do it in a wrong way and get in trouble.
Mhm.
So they elected that college was a better fit for me because I could do it under the umbrella of the correct way to do it, you know. So they sent me to college here because it's close to home, it's well priced, and
Mhm.
everything just kind of worked out. I really enjoy it, lots of opportunities, research, fun stuff for
Yeah,
sure.
it definitely is so a pattern that we've seen a lot actually for our team here at the NCAA Cyber Games. We have a handful of people that have either done pen testing part-time, some of them they do it full-time, and it has been that, okay, I'd like to do this. How can I do it without going to jail? That would be nice.
Yes.
I'd like to get paid. So, and that's definitely something that we're very happy to help encourage and help foster and all that. There's a very big demand for that. So I guess having said that, kind of your interests specifically, what you find yourself in, relating to the NCAE Cyber Games competition, did you think that that was an appropriate alignment for some of the things you're interested in, or do you think that this particular competition perhaps went a different direction? Like, what do you think overall as to how well it lined up with those interests?
So it was definitely good for starting. By the time the competition rolled around, I was pretty well seasoned and well endowed, and there was quite a few students that we knew would be good at it, but they weren't sure if they wanted to pursue it as a profession. So rather, my position was to take all of these people that were good at what they did and put them into a competition. And from what they've told me and the experience that we had, it was very beginner friendly and lots of coaching. They really seemed to enjoy it.
And so you said earlier there were a bunch of the students who were computer science students.
Yes, a handful.
So presumably they're a little bit more on the coding side, a little bit less on the security side.
Yes.
How can you speak to that element? Like what was your general idea of taking someone who doesn't necessarily have a lot of that security foundation and saying, I'm going to have them use their time wisely, like do something productive, actually take on something that they can learn. What was your overall strategy to doing that?
So at first, the first issue I encountered, and um, it was that during the NCAE they had puzzles that you could solve, and immediately the computer science kids clung to the puzzles. They didn't want to try hardening anything. They were more comfortable solving puzzles because programming obviously is puzzle solving. So that's what they're comfortable in. But the more I delegated and steered them towards and sent them documentation on how to work things, the more comfortable they became and the more they branched out. But definitely the immediate issue was that they clung to what they were comfortable with. And that's kind of the point of these games, I feel, is to learn something new and get outside your comfort zone. Definitely. Don't expect to win your first time. Definitely
Yeah,
not.
and I guess that's definitely an attitude I've seen kind of across the board is just with our competition specifically is just redefining what winning really means for something like this.
Mhm.
There are definitely a lot of really competitive, hardcore competitions that are out there that are you're really trying to get to the pinnacle of cybersecurity and capabilities. But definitely, we kind of pride ourselves on taking that approach of you can have much smaller victories along the way to that greater journey of becoming a professional and getting paid to, well, not go to jail. So, things like that, that's always good to hear from your side as well, that's actually what you're experiencing. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so I
I
guess,
mean,
oh, sure, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that it was good for people that haven't done it before, but they went into it with the mindset that just because they didn't get first place that they had somehow lost. But as long as you take something away from the competition, it's never a loss. And I think that's CTF competitions are something that are completely different, and cyber games are completely different. That as long as you learn something, it's worth the time because getting first place isn't what really matters. It's just improving your skill set for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah, that's definitely great to hear, and hopefully they were able to do that along the way. So looking a little bit to the future, is this something you're going to be competing again with? What does your team look like this time around? What does this coming spring look like?
So this year, what we usually do for CTFs and cyber games for college is the director that oversees it is a professor, and the professor does like a call for papers. Essentially, we do a small tryout, and whoever win gets in. This year, I won't be participating. I've elected to take up another CTF competition that I will be doing, but I'm not sure exactly the plan for NCAA. When the message goes out from the professor, I'm sure we'll have a lot of freshmen try out. That's usually what happens. The freshmen see it's a starter and they've heard it around campus. They want to get involved and they usually jump on board with it.
Hmm.
We almost never get returners unless it's a team captain that's just there to coach.
I see. And that is really interesting to hear because that's one thing we've been trying to foster here at the NCAE Cyber Games is how we can get first timer competition goers jump in, find the passion, find something they're interested, but continue on the other competitions. So that's great to hear how that's something you're kind of already naturally doing. So you mentioned that you were moving from being a team leader of the NCAE competition to moving on to another CTF competition instead and letting the newer generation of students come in and compete at this competition, which is really what it's designed for. And I'm really interested in that on ramp of you participated as a leader at this event, but now you're moving on to another one. Can you speak to like why are you doing that and what is that one and how is that one like more appropriate for you?
Sure. So it's pretty interesting because usually, at least at this college, the culture is the lower level competitions you give to the freshmen, and the freshmen that really excel or show even interest and don't do the greatest, but show initiative and gumption are the ones that move up to the next one. The next one that I'm competing in is the CPTC tryouts, and I actually believe it's this week, tomorrow even. Yeah, it's tomorrow, and it's definitely a step up. Hopefully we do good, but the ramp on is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, you come in not knowing anything, and depending on how much effort you put forward is how far you go up into other CTFs. If you come in and you don't want to step out of your comfort zone and you just do puzzles the whole time, the chances of you moving up to the next competition are low. I wouldn't say impossible, but lower, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. And maybe just to kind of wrap things up, we'll maybe take things back to the beginning for you. Do you remember how you got involved in competitions kind of the first time, and what was it like?
Yeah, so I mean, I was never formally involved in a competition until last year, but like I said, in middle school, I started pen testing at a young age, making my parents nervous, as most people do. I started on Hack the Box,
Mhm.
and I thought it was a lot of fun. And then I figured out that there's more than just attacking, there's defending. And I knew nothing about that. So I figured to round out my skill sets, I would do this. And yeah, I mean, I remember being extremely intimidated and nervous, not knowing quite what to expect with my first CTF last year. But it doesn't take long to gain confidence because you realize most nobody knows what's going on or what they're doing. They just do their best.
Mhm. Yeah, that's funny how it's kind of like some almost like crazy storm that just comes through. It's you just kind of experience it
You
and you
do.
hold on for the ride. That's what it feels like, certainly your
Oh,
first
yeah.
time. But after you've seen it before, you become one of those hardy veterans who says, "Ah, it's just attacks from the red team. Ah, it's just our DNS server getting destroyed. Whatever, we'll deal with it." So, but that is
Oh, yeah.
really interesting though, and that's a great. It's great to see that you've experienced that progression of I'm going to do some puzzles. I'm interested in the attacking, but oh, the gold is in the defending. That's really a big part of the value of what it is that we're doing. So,
In the field of cybersecurity, I mean there is red team pen testing and stuff like that, red team engagements, but more than likely, defending is definitely the majority of the skill set. You only need so many attackers to take down a huge business. So more importantly, you need to know how to defend and attack. Attacking is more fun, but it's less important,
hmm
definitely.
yeah, definitely the asymmetric nature of cyber certainly lends itself to that, and I certainly reinforce that idea too that the way the job market is, there is a big demand for people with that pen testing skill set, but the vast majority is certainly what we're looking for in this country is defenders.
Mhm.
But nevertheless, find your interest, find your passion wherever it may lie, and stay on the ethical side of legal, and that's definitely a good motto. So. Well, Ben, I want to thank you for taking the time here. We certainly look forward to what Dakota State has to offer for this upcoming season. A whole bunch of new, fresh blood would be wonderful for us to go out and educate on how to do some things, but hopefully they can get out of their shell beyond CTFs as well. So,
Thank you very much for having me.
all right, thanks.